come up with new stuff and like different things and kind of crazy ideas and certain things. As far as arms go, for me, tricep power is the key, really. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you cannot have strong enough triceps. So I do a lot of, actually for this contest, I did a lot of board presses, which would be like you set a board and vary your heights. Mainly all close grip bench, just for tricep power. A lot of floor presses where you lay on the floor, do the same thing. And that's kind of, I lived off that, like a lot of like skull crushers, heavy skull crushers, you know, all sorts of, I kind of start with like those big strength movements. One other thing, obviously, like for tricep power, I did a lot of both bands and chains tension with standing overhead press, so to really emphasize the lockout portion of the lift. And then from there it would kind of go down to like, maybe like then I would do some cable work at the end to kind of, you know, obviously dips or, you know, kind of, I mean, all normal exercises, nothing really crazy, but just heavy, you know, the close grip bench, I would say, I kind of live from 5 to 8 reps. Something like that, and then most of the accessory stuff, I normally go around 10 reps, 10 to 12 reps, and you know, because that's kind of my volume work. So I do the, you know, kind of quote-unquote max effort first, and then I would go into more volume or repeated effort. So,
what kind of weights do you use on your close grip?
I get up. The most I did was, I think I went down to a set of 3, right at 495, 500 pounds. So, and that was a floor press, so it was that was kind of a new PR for me. And, you know, being a taller guy, it's been, you know, difficult for me to get good at, you know, presses and different things. So that was actually good. I was pretty happy about that. Basically, like my 2 big events are here at the Arnold and World's Strongest Man, and those are going to change a lot. The Arnold's actually nice because it's a set 5 events, and I can really fine tune those 5 events. World's Strongest Man is obviously like, I don't really know going, and you're going to have, you know, a variety of things from truck pull to carry and load, you know, drag different things, and, you know, it's kind of crazy. So for the Arnold, I'll just give you an example coming into this, what I did. I did a 4-day training week, which is actually, I backed off on, I used to train almost up to 6 days a week, and I found out I wasn't recovering as well. So this was a new, I kind of basically picked out a new schedule just for this event. Monday was typically my lower body day, legs, so I do squatting and posterior chains, so hamstrings, glutes, lower back. Some work on that. Then Tuesday I would do pressing. It's kind of the day around the Paulins wheels, the big axle that we clean and press. So I would do that event with basically standing press. I do some upper chest work with tricep work, so kind of just a pressing day on that Tuesday. Wednesday would be off. Thursday was a day basically only for deadlift. So deadlift again, posterior chain work. So I kind of, and really for posterior chain, to give you an example, I pretty much lived off of good mornings, glute ham raise, reverse hypers, you know, any straight leg deadlifts. I mean, like a lot of big strength movements, but I kind of vary. Like, so if I did glute ham raise on Monday, I do, you know, good mornings on Thursday. So just variety in that. But mainly it's a deadlift day, so it's for the Hummer Tire deadlift to get ready for that. And then Saturday was just an event day, so I picked coming into this, I did three events on Saturday. So I would do the like the circus dumbbell press, I would do the timber carry, frame carry, and then the stones. So, and that seemed to work well with training 3 events. You know, and still take, you know, Saturdays are normally about 5 hours of training, like to set up and break down, warm up for each of those events. So it was a big day. Saturday was a big day of training, but that was kind of my training week, and then Sunday. So Friday was off, getting ready for those events, and then after that, Sunday's off just to recover. And it honestly worked well. I was a little bit worried about not training more, but I think with it as heavy as everything is here, I think having the extra recovery days was crucial, and I think it honestly worked well. You know, I came in stronger than I've ever been, so it's, you know, sometimes you got to take risks and try different things, and it worked out. Thankfully, it worked out well. So. Best personal, I deadlift. I'm coming into this for the Hummer Tie deadlift. I had an elevated setup. I pulled 1,120 pounds. It was kind of basically the best way I could simulate that. The regular deadlift off the floor. Well, I guess we'll find out. I compete in London in 2 weeks, and we've got a max deadlift there. But I'm hoping I can get really close to 1,000 pounds off the floor. But right now, I would say the best I've done is about 970 off the floor. Squat. I actually don't really max out with squats. I kind of live between 3 and 5 reps on that. And I don't think it's important for me to max out a squat, but I'd say for a 3-rep set, upper end, maybe somewhere in the mid 800s, something like that. And the best overhead press I've ever done is around 440 pounds. So that's, something I still feel like I can get better with. I'd like to be the first strongman ever deadlift over 1,000 pounds from the floor. Especially being 6'8", I think it'd be a good feat. The stones, I own the world's heaviest Atlas stone right now, and I had it just custom made at 629 pounds. And I didn't quite load it before this contest. I put it in my lap about 4 times and popped it out of my lap a couple times. But since the stone here was only 535, I kind of decided, well, I don't need to mess around with this too much right now because it's kind of like a risk reward thing coming into the Arnold. So I wanted to be very specific with, being able to do reps. But I'd like to, hopefully I can be the first man ever to load a 600+ pound Atlas stone. That's, hopefully a couple of those different lists. But I really appreciate your time and thanks for listening.